So when you have a quadratic equation where there is only one term with x and you can isolate the x, we can just solve this just like how we solve all of our linear equations. All we have to do is undo all the operations to try to get this x by itself on one side of the equation, right? So we have undoing PEMDAS. So think of PEMDAS, parentheses, exponents. When you're simplifying, you're doing parentheses, exponents, multiplication, division from left to right, addition, subtraction from left to right, and now when we are solving, you're undoing PEMDAS. So you want to undo the addition and subtraction first. So the first thing we're going to do is subtract the 7 away. Okay, and then we're going to undo multiplication and division. So I'm going to undo the 2 by dividing both sides by 2. And I'm left with x minus 3 squared equals 16. Okay, working backwards from PEMDAS, undo addition, subtraction, undo multiplication, division. Now we're going to undo the exponent. And so to get rid of this squared, we're going to take the square root of both sides. That's why this method is also called square root method, because you have to take the square root. So then the square root and the square cancels out, and I have x minus 3 on the left. On the right side, the square root of 16, be very careful, it is positive or negative 4. Right? Whenever you take the square root of a number, it's always a plus or minus 4 or negative 4. And so lastly, we want to undo what's inside the parentheses. So let's add the 3, and I have x equals 3 plus or minus 4. When I add 3. So I really have two answers. I have x could be 4 plus 3, or x could be negative 4 plus 3. And so x could be 7, and x could be negative 1. And both of those, if you substitute it back into the equation, should make the equation true. And certainly you can check just to make sure we don't have any extraneous solutions. And this method you can only use if you can isolate the x. So if there's more than one term with x's and you can't get the x by itself, then you wouldn't be able to use this method.